Welcome to another episode of Chad Sports Talk. You don't know, my name's Chad. Take a dive from sports. And this is just a continuation of my previous video in terming of the Pac-12 possible implosion. The previous one went with a complete disintegration of the Pac, having them all going to either the Big 10 or Big 12, and now those two conferences will kind of, expand and whatnot. This is kind of going along the exact same lines. However, it's a way for the Pac to stay alive. But before diving into all that, if you could hit that thumbs up for me, especially the content I provide you, really pleases you two guys, really help promote this channel out. Review my analytics. Like a lot of you guys review my work, and I love you for doing that. Now you subscribe. Go ahead and subscribe. We talk about fun sports stuff here. Now, this video is, like I said, conclusion of the not a conclusion, but it's a second part, another way the dominoes could fall. As we all know, Oregon and Washington have been vetted and cleared to join the Big Ten, but no time frames given. This one scenario is, yes, they didn't do going because the whole thing of trying to get a television contract by the Pac is determined, try how much money they get. I said previously, then they wanted similar to the Big 12, was at $27 million. I can't find that article anymore where I saw that number. It's now close up to the 31, 32 million. So to make it even, nice 30. So they probably want something along those lines. In the current configuration without USC, they're not going to get it. Now they're able to bring in San Diego State. They can probably get out to that 24, 25 mil range. But once Oregon goes, or Utah goes, that is it. The Pac is done in terms of generating that much money. Like I said, Oregon and Washington are viable options, and they are, like I said, clear and vetted. The possibility of them going, I still says slim, because it all depends on the Pac money deal and what happens there and what they kind of get, because there's still questions about ESPN still being in the talks. That's a topic for a different time. So this scenario, we still say Oregon, Washington's gone. We say the four corner schools are gone. The Big 12 stops at 16, change the name to Big 16. So basically what happened with the Pac is what's going to happen to our star is the star will continue to expand to become a red giant. And once they get to that certain stage, they'll jettison off the excess material of that, and what is left is a white dwarf. And that's what's going to happen with the Pac. They're going, all the other materials is going to excess off. They're going to lose a lot of their marquee programs, and they're left with a core of Stanford, California, Oregon State, Washington State. What do they do? Will they be viable as a core to build around? I think so. They're not pushovers. Maybe Cal is or Stanford right now, but we had a really good Cal teams in the past. I'm sure we can get them again. Same thing with Stanford teams. And I think they're a decent core to build around, and you bring in some other group of 5 programs that have been kind of looked at but not brought up, especially in that western U.S. region. I think the Pac will no longer be confined to their ideologies they had prior, which kind of snubbed BYU and put them in this position in the first place. And they'll start looking at programs that will help them athletically, and probably some that help them out academically as well. And they'll look at 2 conferences for them to pluck from. I think the same 2 conferences they're already looking at anyways, the Mountain West and the American. So let's go with the Mountain West and see who they'll take from there. Of course, the number 1 target there is San Diego State. I think it's a no-brainer. It's the main target right now anyways for the Pac to try to stay viable. So I just go ahead and say, okay, the Aztecs get pulled up. I mean, their men's basketball went to the national championship. Their football program has been outstanding for a while. They got a brand new football stadium out there. I'm sure they can expand the capacity for a few more seats, and there you go. Fresno State's another viable option, another good football program, a great rival with San Diego State. And right there in the Central Valley, so you have three parts of California with the Bay, with Cal Stanford, the Central Valley with Fresno State, and deep South California with San Diego. And once again, another good quality football program. Bring in the original BCS buster, Boise State. It's always been on the radar of every single videos out there for Pac-12 expansion. It's always been Boise State's been up there. Now, like I said, I picked 4 from the Mountain West, and the 4th one, it's anyone guess you could really put in there. I put in UNLV just because of Las Vegas. They already have ties to Las Vegas anyways with the Pac-12 championship in football and basketball. Might as well bring in the university as well. And then we head out to the American, and the number 1 there that's being looked at is SMU. Still bring them in. It gives them Dallas. Note, they're not the biggest draw in Dallas, but it gives them the Dallas market. Rice is also one I've been saying before. When I said the Pac-12 going to 12, they might as well just go to 14 and grab Rice. It's a travel partner for SMU, an academic powerhouse. So they definitely bring them in. Also bring in Houston. Once again, not going to make a big draw. I know. Athletically, they're not there. I know that. Then I went to Tulane. Had Tulane come in. It's kind of a snub towards USC. Bring the team that beat you in the Cotton Bowl. The team, and it brings them New Orleans, kind of gives them an SEC territory. But once again, does Tulane the big draw in New Orleans? Probably not. But you still have them anyways. And then also bring in Memphis. Memphis is dumping a lot of money into renovating the Liberty Bowl. This is a perfect opportunity for them to make the move. Is this the conference they want to be in? Probably not. But this is the conference that's making the call, and that gets them into the Power 5 status. And they will probably eagerly jump at the opportunity, especially if they're going to make more money than $7 million. I think for the Pac to get to maintain that power level, they probably will end up taking the same amount of money they're making now, which is what the other schools be making far more money in this deal. But do I think that this is still a Power 5 conference? I think this is like what happened with the Big East and / the American towards the end of the BCS era. This is a conference definitely on the decline if this happens. But it'll still be a viable conference because they have a lot of quality football programs in here. The Pac that we know, or that we did know, this is the Pac what could happen if the dominoes fall a certain way. So now that I saved the Pac, what happens to the conferences that I pluck from? Well, let's go ahead to the Mountain West. A little bit easier, going from 12 down to 8. So they have a lot of teams that kind of pluck from. I think the first up to go to is New Mexico State and UTEP. Bring those 2 in the fold. They're rivals with New Mexico, so that way New Mexico has 2 of the rivals in there. Their athletic programs are above, I think, UNLV status. But I know it's not really moving the needle so much for the Mountain West, but they still have Air Force, they still have Utah State, Wyoming, Colorado State. So they still have those programs there. San Jose State right now. So they can still hang their hat on those programs to keep the conference afloat. And this is where they'll make the push into the FCS and pull 2 members. And I'm pulling 2 members that I think have already stated they're going to stay in the Big Sky. I think in this scenario, they might look at this as their opportunity to make the move. And I'll go ahead and grab the Montanas. I mean, they already had some familiarity with some of these programs already, especially Nevada and Wyoming. Reignite those rivalries, bring the brawl of the wild onto the FBS level. It's a nice referee game there. And I will add a basketball program. I'll go ahead and grab Grand Canyon. Put Grand Canyon into the Mountain West. I'll give them 12 in basketball as well. They're the opposite for Hawaii. I think Seattle will be another option they can put in there, but I think Seattle might get them going to the West Coast to fill in for BYU. Denver, if they can get them away from the Summit League. But I'll go Grand Canyon, just give them, they'll definitely have all four corners represented in the conference. I think it kind of makes sense, and go from there. Now the American, they were a 14-member conference, losing 4 takes them back down to 10. I said go right back to 14. And they'll have to try to fill in the western part that they lost. That's where all their teams they lost were in the western division of the American. And looking at the other conferences available, who you want to pick from. Now, the American has been going after metro-based schools to backfill their holes, which means, that's Georgia State, it's Middle Tennessee, it's FIU. But I think they're going to look at a different direction and go a different route. And one, I think they'll grab Louisiana Tech. Now, Louisiana Tech is definitely not a metro area. Their program is definitely a roller coaster, lots of ups, lots of downs. Bringing them in kind of helps keep those western schools, especially North Texas and UTSA, a little bit happier, because it makes sure that, hey, you love us, you're making sure we get somebody close by, someone that we're familiar with, and can actually be a very competitive member. And then they go at FCS. They are grabbing 3 from the FCS level. And I think the first 2 they should grab will make immediate impact on this conference: North Dakota State and South Dakota State. I think it's just only a matter of time before they make the jump up. North Dakota State has been dominating FCS level for a while. They don't win every year, but they're always in contention. The same thing towards the run in Division 2. It's time to move them to the top flight. And I think the American would be the perfect fit for them, especially if you bring in South Dakota State as well, a nice rival. And then the next one I add is one I've mentioned before in other videos I've done. And this is more for Temple, because outside of football, Temple has no one near them. Bring in Delaware. I think it's another program that's had some good success in the FCS level. Bring them in and gives Temple a neighbor very close by that could throw rocks at them for basketball and whatnot. Now for Conference USA, they also got affected because now they lost 3 programs to fill in the void. I say they go back to 10, so just add 3 more. 3 programs I think everyone's looking at anyways are getting plugged. All 3 play in the current United Athletic Conference. That is the name of the ASUN WAC Football Members Conference. And then bring in Eastern Kentucky, Central Arkansas, and Stephen of Austin. I'll kind of leave it at Conference USA at 10, and we'll see how things kind of play out. On a side note, I also kind of think that the Sun Belt and Conference USA could do a merge and split type scenario where you get a bunch of members that used to be part of the Southland at one point in time all leaving to join a new conference, or a rebranded Conference USA, I should say. Resurrected the Gulf Star Conference. That was a D2 conference. Currently, there's 3 members in my current FBS level right now that were the founding members of the Gulf Star from the inception to its end, which lasted from 84 to 87. And it's Sam Houston, Stephen F. Austin, Texas State. You bring them in, you just kind of bring in a slew of other programs that have had ties to the Southland. At one point in time, most of them have been in the Southland, either together or separate, because Arkansas State was a founding member of the Southland and left before some of the other members showed up. And then the other one still maintains the Sun Belt, which is basically all the Eastern teams. Map I'm showing right now is all the dots indicate rough areas of where the Gulf Star and the Sun Belt programs are at. So you see kind of intermingled, especially there in the Atlanta area, because Kennesaw State would go to the Gulf Star to kind of help balance out the conferences. So each one would be at 12. You definitely have some good programs on either side of these two conferences to balance them out. Will it actually happen? No. Which is a good, fun thing to kind of think of, and something else for our minds to wrap our heads around. But enough of me just spinning and yawning and yapping. This is just kind of a going back to the original point in this video is the Pac-12 stays alive-ish. Much like what happened with Conference USA after the American completely plucked it dry. But this is just a way for some of them that don't get added on anywhere else. Now, could the Big 12 members, the four corners, not go to the Big 12? Absolutely. You could just lose Oregon and Washington, and then you can take away half these programs being added to kind of, keep this conference somewhat viable. Or you can leave all of them there and make the Pac-16. So you get that option as well. But this is kind of, like I said, another path the dominoes could lead you down. Once again, it all depends on the contract they can get for themselves at this present point in time. Right now, with the members they have, they should get a decent contract. I'm hoping it's going to be more of the $25, $27 million range, especially if you get like San Diego State. Definitely, once they get San Diego State, they should get that money. So if they're able to keep, the four corners, they should be close to the Big 12 money. If they're able to keep Oregon and Washington, they should definitely equal the Big 12 money. But it all depends on who wants to pay it. Yeah, right now, I think no one's really willing to pay the Pac that much yet. Well, just let me know down below how you think of this scenario. Is this one a little more feasible than my complete, Armageddon one? This one, I think this one is another extreme possibility. Because one, I don't think Oregon Washington is going to leave unless then they know they're not going to get very good money. Then they're going to go, okay, we're going to the Big Ten. Because I think then the money goes way up for the Big Ten in terms of payout. But hey, just let me know down below what you think. Do you think the Sun Belt Conference USA should do a merge and split into what I created? I mean, that's an oddball question for the end of this one, especially this is the Pac conference video. Do you think the Pac will completely collapse like I did in my previous video? There's a way for them to survive. Let me know down below. I love interacting with y'all when it comes to this stuff. We know how passionate we are about our schools and our athletic programs that we really cheer for. I ask everyone to be respectful. Everyone has opinions. Not everyone's right, including myself. I know. I'll admit to it when I'm wrong. I've always have, always will. But once you're down there making your comments, go ahead, hit that thumbs up once again. You go share this video with friends and family. It helps promote the video out. Once you subscribe, make sure you click that bell icon, turn on notifications so the next time I post any more content on my channel. And I will see you next time on Chat Sports Talk.